Okay, so hey, welcome to Nerd News Now. We're going to talk about Captain Marvel, but no, not Shazam, Captain
What?
Marvel. But no, Captain
Wait.
Marvel. but-
DC?
No, Marvel's Captain Marvel. Like Disney Marvel, Captain Marvel. Like Marvel Comics, Captain Marvel. But we're also going to talk about Shazam, who is Captain Marvel. But just to keep from getting sued, we can't call it a comic or the movie Captain Marvel. We have to call it Shazam. But in the comic and within the movie, we will call him Captain Marvel. But right now, hey everyone, I'm Ashford.
And I'm Jen King.
Yeah, this is Jen King, and welcome to Nerd News Now. In cubed, all right? Into the
like
third
that.
power.
Yeah. I like to
Nerd News Now.
power.
Yeah, we do the little in, a little small thread right there in a circle, and bam, you have an emblem for a t-shirt and designs. All right, so welcome everyone. We're in December. Is this the first December show?
It's the first December show.
Yeah, so
the
happy.
First was Saturday.
Yeah, so happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Advent started.
Yeah, I would start singing, but I don't think we have the rights to any songs. So.
But I don't have a good voice. So.
Yeah, me neither. But hey, good singing is relative. So
this is true.
Let's jump into this one. So we're going to talk about Disney Comics. Marvel Comics, Captain Marvel.
Okay.
There was a new, with Brie Larson. Do you know, have you seen anything with Brie Larson in it?
I
that you're conscious of?
have, but I don't know.
Okay. All right. So, well, in this yesterday there was a new trailer that was launched. And in this trailer, like plot elements were brought out. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not familiar with the character, although I did read, a Captain Marvel trade with Mary Ann Sue.
Okay.
No, I can't remember, but now that person's going to Mary Sue Cormick.
Oh,
she's going to write the new. Yes.
Yeah, Taconic.
Okay,
yeah.
She's going to write the new Aquaman, the comic strip. And I read her trade for Captain Marvel. One, it was beautiful art.
Yes. And
the storytelling was great, but I didn't learn. I learned some lore about Captain Marvel, but because I guess I'm a DC guy, whatever that means. That wasn't enough to really get the grasp of what Captain Marvel is. So when I saw this trailer, I was like, this is cool. But, I was talking to someone about this earlier as far as were there any spoilers in it? Well, I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
You know what I'm saying? Like what I saw was, it for all intents and purposes, it was just gibberish. Like it was cool, pretty pictures, but as far as well, what will the story be about? They talked about the scrolls, and I hear about that a lot. And at any point, anyone can be a scroll. So someone someone I've been watching on the screen for a long time.
Oh, I can guarantee it.
Maybe they've been they've been a scroll this whole time.
Yep.
So, and I know you've been avoiding trailers.
Yeah, and I avoided this one too. It's kind of interesting because it came out, and then almost all of my professional friends were they were underwhelmed by the new trailer.
Yeah.
So I don't know what misstep was made in the excitement of it because I haven't seen it. I also haven't seen the first one either because I want to go into this movie totally tone deaf to what everyone else has been saying about it because I don't know. I just want to go in and enjoy it for myself. So yeah, I'm hoping that we do see that. I don't know when we're going to see it. Maybe we won't even find out anything until maybe that's part of the Avengers 4 stuff. We'll find out that one of those characters has been scrolled up for a while.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. It's going to come out March 8th, 2009. And the trailer's awesome. All right? Yeah, I liked it. Well, I think it's awesome. But what you saw in there, and they want to stress this, that this character will be one of the most powerful characters, or the most definitive article, the most.
Yes.
All right? Powerful character in the Disney Marvel universe. And what I was seeing in there as far as you saw a lot of that, right?
Yep.
And it seemed like she was going to be powerful. One thing that may have been kind of a misnote, if you will, I think the character was in that Scott Pilgrim Save the Universe. Not the character, but Brie Larson.
Oh, okay.
Was she in that Scott Pilgrim Save the Universe?
I have to go back and think about it.
We'll do the edit. But I think if someone thought, if they thought it was underwhelming, I think, one, the trailer is very confident in itself, right? Mm-hmm. And the Brie Larson, her demeanor is kind of it's almost like 90s slacker, which is kind of interesting because is going to take place in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of has that independent vibe of, hey, I'm here, but maybe I'm a little too cool to be here, but I'm here. You know?
She kind of is. I mean, her history, the power behind her is that she essentially can absorb the power of any source. And usually it's something awesome, like the sun. And she just like can spew that energy back out. So she's like atomic bomb like weight for her, what she can do. And she actually has she's also been called binary. Mm-hmm. So she has another, I don't want to call it form, but there's a whole storyline where she has the power of binary, which is like huge knockdown. So I don't know how much they're going to get into, if they're going to show her beginnings, but she's not human.
Right. And they go into that, and then they also go into like, almost like we've captured you and experimented on you, and you may have had a life before this life.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so,
that's true.
You know, very interesting. Also, let's talk about this as far as you have Nick Fury, who's played by Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
And they did these things where we saw it in the Winter Soldier, in the Civil War movie, where we saw a young Tony Stark, played by an actor that might be in his 50s, but they rolled it back, and in the movie it looked like he was in his early 20s.
Yep.
Let's talk about how seamless that looked, and how if you're 20, that's like, well, of course I can do that. But like for me, I'm like, wow!
Yeah, it's amazing what they've been able to do in movies. I think the first time I ever saw them use that kind of technology is when they were using the perspective change for Lord of the Rings, when they have all got hobbits sitting right next to full-size people, and it looks exactly like they really just shrunk that person.
So just
Still
imagine.
can't wrap my mind around it.
Yeah, like you're looking at that and you're like, this is amazing. Like, how can it get any better than this? Mm-hmm. But let's say you're 24 and you've been watching these Marvel movies since you were 8. This is commonplace.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
It's nothing for other kids. My son actually laughs when we watch older movies for the technology that's on there. He just thinks it's a comedy because he's like, oh my gosh.
But it's so much heart.
Yeah.
You know, it's so much heart, and just when you are lacking resources and a budget, and you really got to put your heart and soul into the story and the love behind the puppetry or the sets, it's endearing.
Oh, yeah.
It's big time endearing. And then Jude Law is in this. Are you a Jude Law fan?
I am a very big Jude Law fan. Okay. I don't even. What did he seem to be? What did they?
Oh, I can't remember.
Give away his role?
I can't remember if he was like a mentor to her or the villain. I can't remember. I was just like, oh, look, Jude Law.
So So the only thing I want to know is, in the trailers, either one, have they dropped any imagery of the original Captain Marvel or Marvel?
Right. I don't think so, as far as my knowledge goes, but
because that could be a huge spoiler. Oh my words! To like have whoever it is, Superstar X, have them show up and make the transfer.
Yeah. And then they can do prequels to that. So this movie's almost like it's its own movie, but then it's a prequel to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
As far as, I just want to know, will this movie be the one to get the Avengers out of their little pickle that they're in right now?
It's possible.
Yeah, I'm happy. So that's going to be in March, leading up to spring break. Right now we have Shazam on the docket. Shazam!
Yeah, talking about other Captain Marvels.
Yeah, so it's Shazam, but now we're going inside the pages. Mm-hmm. Now we can call him Captain Marvel. And there's going to be a new Captain Marvel comic coming out, written by Jeff Johns, artwork by Dale Eaglesham, and I'm very excited about this because I'm a big Jeff Johns fan from Justice Society of America.
Yes. And
they worked together, Dale Eaglesham and Jeff Johns, on that, like in the early 2000s, and now they're reconvening for this. Do you have any, I can't wait to pick up the book tomorrow, or today when this is airing.
Yeah.
But do you have any insider trading information about this comic?
I don't.
Other than the fact that it's awesome.
And for the first time, I'll have to say I did not get to read a single book in advance. Thank you, UPS. But I will say that from the cover art that I've seen, the main cover is really cute. It actually has him as Shazam in class in math, trying to pass math. And it's hilarious because there's like a kid trying to put a kick me sign on him. So it like brings in this idea that yes, he's this huge superhero with all these powers, but at his heart, he really is Billy Batson. He's just this kid, and he has kid problems, and he brings those kid problems into his life as a superhero when he's his big self. So and it's also cool to see that that's the way they're playing the movie aspect of it too. Like the perfect casting choice in Zachary Levi because he plays man-child so well. It's like made to do it. So I'm excited to read it. I will tell you that just in advance, it was almost a complete sellout.
Okay, so it seems like, especially with the movie Shazam, where Captain Marvel is within the film strips of that Shazam movie, like it's going to be big, the superhero movie.
Yeah.
Remember that with Tom Hanks?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be like we're watching Big, but with the superhero. Yeah. So just to give a little history of it, and some of this history is going to be dodgy. We first saw Shazam or Captain Marvel in the pages of Wiz Comics #2 back in 1939.
Gosh.
I know, right? So, and this is what's going to be interesting as we get closer to this movie being released, information might start coming out. Yeah. And that's what's cool now, even with the younger generation. They're real good with, I'm interested in this, so I'm going to look it up. And what you might end up finding out is there was a chance where Shazam could have been the biggest comic book hero of all time because he was a big time rival. Even if you go back and you watch the maybe it was the 1959 or 1960 West Side Story, there was a part where it was like, do you think he could beat Captain Marvel? You know, they didn't say Superman. Yeah. You know, so there was a time where Captain Marvel could have been a thing and started off as a radio show. Radio shows are awesome. That's still a big thing in Britain.
I miss them so much. We used to do that on Sunday. We used to go on long family drives because we didn't have any money. So family drives is what we did for fun on Sunday evenings. But we would put on those old radio serials, and I thought they were the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Because you use your imagination to put the action to it.
Yeah, and it's still a huge thing in Britain. Like, people stop what they're doing to watch or listen to a season finale of a radio broadcast. Yeah. But, it ran from Wiz Comics, it ran from 1939 to 1953. Comics started to, with the whole code thing and people saying that maybe it was bad for kids, and it went away for a little bit, and a lot of lawsuits. And when comics, especially like superhero pulp type comics, when it took a hit, I guess like Charleston Comics or Wiz Comics, they felt like this isn't worth the lawsuit, so they just kind of gave it up. And then later DC kind of engulfed that and made Shazam part of them.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so we're going to find out all that information, but I'm interested in, apparently, even though this will be Shazam #1, it is a continuation of what Jeff Johns was doing in New 52. So if you read any of that New 52, don't think like, well, I guess I got to throw all this out. Whatever they were doing there is going to continue. On that? Yeah.
Okay.
Did you do you know anything about that interpretation? I remember seeing like Shazam, he had the hoodie with lightning coming out of his eyes. I was like, is that the Shazam that we know?
It's interesting. I really, really started reading DC seriously when they hit Rebirth. So mad props to you guys for doing Rebirth. You got a Marvel girl to read DC. So yeah, New 52 is a foreign land to me.
Yeah, it's some cool stuff, but I will tell you this, that with this Shazam comic, I hope that Jeff Johns and Dale Eaglesham, they do a long run on this, and I hope that
I hope so too.
Some great storytelling that can lead into this movie.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good bridge book if they just ride the line of T. I think they can get a lot of new generation into reading books because it's a perfect jumping on point for a kiddo to look at a superhero. Like, that could be me. I identify with that feeling of like, I want to be a hero, but I'm just this little kid. I think we're going to see that in the books. You can actually do both.
And if you want to do any homework before the movie comes out or before this comic, Justice League Unlimited, I can't remember the name of the episode, but if you Google Shazam on Justice League Unlimited, the episode that he appeared on, it rocks. Yeah. And it really displays that character, and it's it's this jealousy that Superman has of him, and they get into this big brawl and they tear up this town that Lex Luthor created that was going to give people free energy. It's a cool one. Check that out. And don't go anywhere. We're going to take a small break and come back and talk more about nerd news now type stuff.
Sweet.
Football season is here, and Woodlands Online Sports is back better than ever. Watch all the action on KVQT 21 Houston and woodlandsonline.com.
For home repairs, call John Moore, where quality is guaranteed. If the problem returns, so will we. No extra charge.
Call John, get more. 730-2525.
Welcome back to Nerd News Now. It was written and it was promised and predicted. We came back. So, Miss Jen, I'm going to be a little selfish and talk about some Doctor Who.
Please do. It's what you do well.
All right. So, it could be used loosely, but we'll accept that compliment. I need to learn how to do that and not shy away from it. I'm actually blushing right now. You can't tell, but here's the deal. We're 9 episodes in this new Series 11 Doctor Who series. This upcoming Sunday, December 9th, will be the last episode. And, we know now we don't really have that much appointment television. Are there any shows that you just watch live where it's like, I know these other things I can marathon through it or, binge watch, but do you have any shows where it's like, no, I have to watch this on the day of broadcast?
On the day of broadcast, yes, but for live, I just have the hardest time. My life is full. I get home after everything is really done. So
what's one thing you watch on the day of broadcast, or like maybe the day after, but you make a purpose to like, I want to be up to date on this?
Don't laugh at me, Survivor.
Okay, yes. I think most appointment television is like live reality television. Mm-hmm. That's, you got to know, because if someone spoils who got voted off the island or which bachelor was chosen. Well, no, it would only be one bachelor. Which, I don't know, Iron Maiden was chosen for this bachelor. You need to know that now, right?
Yeah.
Or the suspense will be gone? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe the suspense won't be gone. Maybe if the narrative leading up to that is so good, even if you know the outcome, you still get the feels.
I don't think I've ever missed an episode.
Yeah. But I think the only thing where I want to maybe be like on point of appointment television, Doctor Who.
You're always there live?
Yeah. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Which Doctor Who is a weird thing to watch on broadcast, because so much of Doctor Who history is like in the rearview mirror. Yeah. So you come into it like, I'm not 80 where I saw the first Doctor Who episode.
Yeah.
So most of my Doctor Who watching is past episodes. Mm-hmm. So to be caught up with it and watch it with everyone else in the world, except for the UK that's watching it before me because of time zones, it's weird kind of watching new Doctor Who, because it's not, that's not usually Doctor Who is in the off season.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is it different because you get to binge it? You don't have, this is like the first real thing that you're like back in the day. So I'll equate it to what I used to watch live, and I had to watch it live, was X-Files.
Gotcha.
So every episode was cliffhanger, and especially the season ender, which is probably what you're going to get, right?
Right.
That you're going to be like, no!
So,
my reaction.
Okay, well, that's something interesting too. But, when I got into Doctor Who in 2012, even with new Doctor Who, I was behind. So I'm watching it at my leisure. I can binge watch. I can slow down and control it. But then once you're caught up and you're in real time, it's like, whoa, whoops, right? But I do like the fact that we're in Doctor Who season where it's not like Netflix where they're all dropped at one time. I like the idea of there's an episode, I can watch it again, I can think about it, listen to podcasts, read blogs about it, think about it, and then the second episode. And the fact that instead of, when it's Netflix and you drop it all in one day and people watch it all, then the hoopla for that show is like maybe 3 to 5 days, and then it moves on to the next day.
Everyone's talked about it.
Yeah.
And all the theories and all that stuff's all played out, do you think?
Yeah. So, okay, with Series 11, the big hoopla was that it was Jodie Whittaker. It was the first woman to play the Doctor and what that was going to be like. And it's very much like any of the other ones, right?
Yeah.
Because it's such a silly show. But Something else that was different other than a woman playing the doctor, there were no returning villains, and there wasn't a season arc.
Oh.
So it's pretty much just this episode by episode. So it's usually with Doctor Who, especially a new Doctor Who, it was about leading up to like, all right, now we're going to finally find out what this was all about. But since they didn't do this through line, it's like this next episode is just the next episode.
So all episodic.
It's all episodic. I'm not saying that you could, but you could almost rearrange these and go watch them. Yeah, so, I mean, right now, I'm okay with it because I love what's going on. I've got what I've always wanted as far as a new Doctor Who having a teen TARDIS. So, they have an older gentleman on there, Bradley Walsh, who hosts game shows. He's a singer. He's been awesome. They got this young guy named Tolson Cole, where right now he's my favorite, like, nuance black male on TV. They've done a lot of things with him that I don't think is very typical. And then Mandip Gill, who I believe is Pakistani and Indian. She's been great too, and they've been working well with Jodie Whittaker. And this is what's interesting as well. Usually with Doctor Who, they have a Christmas special.
Yes.
Because in Great Britain, that's the tradition where I guess you drink and be merry and you watch Christmas at the television. Because I know, like in Europe, I think the shops are closed for more than just one day. So you really have to...
They make you go home and have family time?
Yeah,
What?
and like, do you have everything that you need as far as toiletries and food to survive?
Yeah.
Right? So sitting down and watching something on Christmas is a big deal. Where do you have any Christmas traditions where it's like, if we don't do this, it won't be the same?
Really have to watch Rudolph.
That's
Because
one.
every once in a while we'll miss it, and I'm just like, this doesn't feel like Christmas anymore. And then I think it's going to be more pronounced this year because my son's coming back from college. Like, I think I won't be able to slide this year and not have, like, put up all the Christmas decorations and stuff, even though we haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
I think once he gets home from school, we'll really do that because it'll feel like this is like a real marking of a season. And I got to put my nativity. Nativity's fun.
Oh, that's cool. So, and something I do with my family now is just sit around and watch the marathon of NBA games that come on.
NBA, yeah.
So that's when it really like starts where it's like, all right, pay attention now. So they're not going to have a Christmas special on Doctor Who. They're going to have a New Year's Day special.
Well, that's going to be a problem.
And why is that?
Because that's when I watch another marathon that comes on every year.
And what's that?
Isn't that when they do Twilight Zone?
Oh, really? Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, every year.
So I know BBC, they did the one where they have the Sherlock. They debuted something on New Year's Day, and I believe an episode on New Year's Day, and it did well. And then I know Netflix, they released a couple of Dave Chappelle specials on New Year's Day. So now I'm in this situation where I got to figure out, am I going to get rid of cable because I don't need BBC America anymore? And maybe can I have the discipline enough just to wait one day, where it's January 2nd, and just buy the episode off iTunes?
You can't do that.
Yeah, because I need to watch it on the big screen.
I know you well enough to know. The answer is no.
Yeah, the answer is no. So as far as my predictions with Doctor Who, the last episode that's coming up Sunday is, I hope that there's some type of grand reveal, but I think not. I think it's been, I know this is going to sound bad, it's been anticlimactic as far as like some type of prelude to the future of the show.
Okay.
Which I think is like, you know what, instead of like, well, what's next? Maybe I should just appreciate the what is now.
Mm-hmm. Our producer just put up that, by the way, the show has like a 96% thumbs up rating.
Good. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah.
So it's continuing to be strong.
I love it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love that. Now, check this out. Well, we're going to do this. This is the first time on Nerd News Now.
Okay. I'm going to have to like watch through fingers.
So we're going to have this, this grand opening. All right. This is the Huntress from the Hush line, Jim Lee. I really love that series. No, I actually bought this at, wait a minute. No, I bought this at the convention that we did. What was that one called?
What are you talking about? Fandemic?
Fandemic.
Sweet. Okay. You've had it in the box since Fandemic?
Since Fandemic, and I've been waiting for the right reason to open this, and now is the better time than ever, right? So, did you ever read Hush?
It is totally on my list of things I absolutely must read. It is on the essentials list, by the way. Hush is supposed to be the series, a story that you have to read right after Killing Joke.
You know what? This is Hush is a good book as far as it's very accessible if you want to know, like, what is Batman and what is his universe within Gotham in a fun pop type way.
Okay.
But then sometimes when you kind of think about it, it is a lot of nonsense, but it's so much candy and it's just so much fun to it. But as far as like Hush the character, it's kind of like, wait a minute, what? But, So this is the Huntress. This is Helena Bertinelli opposed to Helena Wayne. She's my favorite comic book character. I love her because she has that Jenny from the Block type vibe where she can hobnob with the big wigs, but she's still from the streets. So that's why I like her. So why don't you open this? I think it'll be fun if you open it.
It's your finger.
Okay, all right. So look at that. The Huntress. I love this character. Helena Bertinelli. And just a little spoiler on the Right On Network, that's my podcast network. In 2019, we're going to have a Huntress Helena Wayne podcast.
Really?
So, yeah. So this is the grand opening.
I'm guessing it's Right On WRIGHT.
Right On Network. WRIGHT. OnNetwork.com. Oh, wow.
She has like a bow staff and everything.
Yeah, isn't that cool? And they even have it childproof, so hopefully I can open this.
This will be like Christmas morning, and I'm going to be the mom and keep all the pieces.
Oh, yeah, I got to take a picture from Sally so I can write a thank you letter to Sally. All right. You ever seen that before where people, they open their gifts and they take a picture so they can know who to send thank you gifts to?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Look at this. Wow. Look. This is live.
He is serious about destroying this package.
Hey, this is Reggie and the Full Effects live.
They really make them, honestly, so you can knock them out of the package without destroying them.
Look at this. I know, yeah. I can't be graceful. I can't be finesse about this. All right? Got to be contact sports. Wow, this is pretty cool.
All right, so I know nothing about the Huntress's power. Does she have any powers? Is she just full on, I use guns, and I'm good at it?
She has a crossbow, and she's good at hand-to-hand combat. But as far as supernatural powers, none at all. All right? And in this version, this is the post-crisis Huntress. She is the daughter. She's the daughter of a mob boss, and her whole family was taken out. And she is the Huntress because she's basically doing the Arrow. I made a list of people I need to kill, right?
She's the Punisher.
Yeah. And Batman gives her a hard time because he thinks that she crosses the line. Cry for Huntress, that'd be a good series to read. And on my podcast, we're going back to the 1989 series. All right? It was like issues 1 through 19. And then we'll follow her there. And I'm doing that podcast with some lovely women. Mountain Flower 1 on Twitter. Her name is Laurel. And a young lady in California named Sarah. And happy Hanukkah to her. And she's of the Jewish faith. Why don't you take the hell of that? The color scheme and her outfit is awesome.
Her cape is nice.
And this is the window belly Huntress. Yeah. They have a more tactical and practical outfit that she has where she's fully covered.
Well, this isn't bad. When you're talking about, like, ridiculous costumes that don't make any sense, fits in this could actually work costume.
Now, this is the Batman symbol that Jim Lee used that DC Comics, as far as on their products, is like toothbrush or anything. They use this logo for a long time. I like this one.
Oh, that's a good one.
All right. Let's see if we can stand her on this. Does she have the little things at the bottom?
She does.
Okay, good. This is her staff.
Oh.
Her bow.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe is it in here?
Got a peg somewhere. There it is.
There it is.
Blue
Look
peg.
at this. This is that grand opening. And then, are there any?
Choose where you want it on her.
What? Are there any comics that's coming out tomorrow that we should keep our eyes out on?
Martian Manhunter #1.
Yeah, I heard that's going to be kind of gritty or something. And isn't that like a miniseries?
It is.
Not ongoing?
12, I believe. And then Image has like 3 new #1s this week. don't know if I'll be able to remember all of the titles, but one of them is Prodigy. It's a Mark Millar book, which looks to be the hot one because that one pretty much sold out.
Let's twist her the other way. Yeah, you see that?
Kick some booty.
Yeah, look at that. This is Helena Bertinelli. All right, she's awesome. And she's been in different incarnations. We saw Helena Bertinelli on Arrow. All right. She's been in the Justice League Unlimited cartoon. She had a couple of episodes written by Gail Simone. That was cool. And Helena Bertinelli really got into the public consciousness on Gail Simone's run of Birds of Prey. And I do a podcast called the Birds of Prey Podcast. If you just Google Birds of Prey Podcast, you'll find us. And we're finally on the Gail Simone run when my Huntress is on there. So I've been kind of giddy and happy because my podcast is finally on the episodes or issues that I want to talk about. Well, Miss Jen, any final thoughts about what we talked about or what's coming up?
I don't know. I'm just looking forward to figuring out what is going to be the hot toy this season for Christmas. It's always something different that we don't expect and no one has on the shelf because that's the way it has to be, right? It can't be something that we have plentiful of because there's no way that that's going to be true.
So let me ask you this. I know action figures and rarities for adults are a thing, but I know kids like video games and Fortnite. Well, I guess, are there any toys? This isn't something you play with. You just, I put it up there, I display it.
Yeah, but parents have already come in and started asking for Fortnite toys, but there's nothing that exists.
Okay.
There are pop figures, which aren't toys.
Right.
So parents turn their nose, that's not what my kid wants. My kid wants something to play with.
Yeah, and do you have anything like that where it's like a slinky, this is a toy where I manipulate and play and pretend with it? No?
No.
All right, well, look, hey, that is all we have for Nerd News Now. This is Miss Jen. I'm Ashford. Until next time, sayonara. Cheers.
It's really cool. He's giving us, just putting up facts on the screen over here. You see him?
Okay, I need that. Okay.
She was Envy.
Oh, no. Yeah, I need that. Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay.
I was like, oh yeah, she was good at it too.
But wait, what do you mean by that when she played Envy? In
Scott Pilgrim.
Okay, so at least I got that right. I never seen that movie though.
She was, you haven't seen it?
But she's kind of, but that's when you need to pop in.
Drops the coins.
But isn't that her kind of demeanor? I'm over this. She's kind of, and I think that kind of comes off in that trailer. So they may have thought this seems lackluster, but no, the trailer's awesome. All right, here we go.